welcome to Career Creators, your toolset for your next best job. My name is Sarah, and I'm a career mechanic with Career Creators, and I'm excited that you decided to invest in yourself and watch this webinar. Resumes are tools that employers use to access your skill sets and evaluate what you bring to the table. When you think about a resume, it is like a commercial. It should sell your brand when you are not around and make the employer very interested in taking a closer look at you. This closer look is called the interview. Visit our interview webinar to learn more about interviews. Every successful job search begins with a great resume, but the most effective resumes are those created with a target job position in mind. Things to consider when creating or modifying a resume. Use keywords from the job posting. Understand the job posting is telling you a description of the perfect candidate, so it's your job to show them you are the perfect candidate. Use the wording they use to describe yourself. Be sure to include those hot buzzwords in multiple sections of the resume. For example, experience, summary, skills, and qualifications should all have their dose of hot keywords. But before we dive into this more, let's first talk about the elements to incorporate in the resume. You have multiple sections of the resume. Based off your format and what you bring to the table, you may or may not use all of the sections. Take a look at the list, and I will walk you line by line so you understand the purpose and the thought process behind each of them. Contact information. You want to include your full name. Some people choose to include a middle initial, but it is not mandatory. You want to write your name as it appears on your ID, but if you want to include a nickname, you can put it into parentheses with your legal name. You want to have your mailing address. P.O. boxes are also acceptable in most cases, but some jobs may prefer a physical address if they don't mail to P.O. boxes. Your phone number with area code should be included as well. It's important that the phone number listed in a workable number and one that you can answer. If you have a voicemail box you can set up, don't have a joke, play music, or use a default message. Voicemail that only recite the phone number are not great ways to knowing who you called. You want to personalize it, and the employer would like to hear your voice and verify that the number is in fact yours. You also need to understand phone etiquette. Everyone has to answer the line professionally, so be sure to let others know if you share the line. And a common inclusion is an email address, as some companies prefer to respond via email instead of by phone. Be sure to have a professional email. A great email is a first and last name, domain.com, and Gmail is also popular among professionals to show you are aware of trends. An email address you should not submit is one for your current job or personal company that is considered unethical. Social media is also a growing signature item, so if you have a LinkedIn account, it is smart to include your personal URL address. Be sure to visit our LinkedIn video to learn more. The next section is the objective statement. If you are submitting a general resume for posting your resume online or in search engines, include this section, but if you are submitting to a specific job and including a cover letter, don't include the objective statement. Here is the Career Creator recipe to a well-written objective statement. The statement should be clear, concise, and short. It should answer the question, what job would you like to have? It should list the type of company you prefer to work for. Examples include seeking a position as an English teacher, obtain a position as a registered nurse for a large hospital with a critical care unit, and seeking a position as a sales representative in a large company that will provide opportunities for advancement. Remember, short, concise, and clear are the key ingredients. The summary section can be listed as bullets or in paragraph form. Try to limit the section to 3 sentences or 3 bullets, as this section should serve as an appetizer to your experience section of the resume. So be sure to include your professional identity and number of years in the field. The summary section should include specific knowledge, talent, or education that ties you to your career interests. The summary section should include specific knowledge, talent, or education that ties you to your career interests. Self-management skills, such as work attributes and intangible skills, need to be included based on keywords from the job announcement. Now, how do you determine keywords to use from the job announcement, you may ask? Keywords are action verbs and adjectives that describe specific skills, qualifications, and experience sought after from the ideal candidate. When reading the job posting, identify these factors and modify your resume to fit the requirements to the ad if possible. You need to determine how you will use this information to target your resume for the position, because you have on average 7 to 10 seconds to capture the employer's attention with your resume before they move on to the next. Make every word count. Here are some great examples for you to look at. The Areas of Expertise section should list your skills or highlight your certifications or licenses. Depending on the type of job you're applying for, the Areas of Expertise section is the ideal location to include skills from the job posting. In regards to formatting this section, the professional standard is to provide 3 columns with 3 to 4 skills in each column. Whatever you include in this section should be demonstrated in your experience section to follow. Experience section is the most important section of the resume. This is the section that tells your employer what you have done, how you did it, and the results. This is where you sell what you bring to the table. The details we are about to discuss are from a chronological format. There are some differences with other formats. Please take note of that as we discuss. The first thing you want to include is your job title, company's name, and location. This allows the employer to get an idea of what you did, for how long, and where. This will also help the employer see any career growth. If you are a student or out of work, you can state whether the position was volunteer or an internship. Then your sentences should be presented as bulleted accomplishment statements. Notice I said accomplishment statement. This is where you show how you applied your skills and the results. A guideline to follow to help you write your accomplishment statement is to select an action verb. Add what you did, then answer how you did it, and be sure to state your result. So follow along with these steps. Step 1. Action verb. What you did. For example, process shipments of personal property and household goods. Step 2. How you did it. As a part of a small team of personnel, or you can state a large team as well. Step 3. Your results or accomplishments. Ensure that family's goods were transported in a safe, timely, and efficient manner. Step 4. Include quantifiable information, such as process more than 700 annual shipments of personal property and household goods, valued in excess of $30 million, as a part of a small team of 13 personnel. Ensure that family's goods were transported in a safe, timely, and efficient manner. So, step 4 combines the information from steps 1 through 3 and includes quantities and valued assets in dollars to make the statement even stronger. The following are some examples for you to see. Directed personnel programs in support of more than 1,200 personnel in 35 locations worldwide by utilizing a computer-based data system. Reduce vehicle service turnaround time by 25% by creating a fast-track team for easy repair jobs and routine services. Restructured program for insurance department, which resulted in 28% cost reduction per year. Led 46 initiatives to resupply drought areas with critical supplies, totaling in excess of $30,000 with 0 losses. Section 6 should discuss your education and training as it pertains to the job for which you are applying. Most people get education and training mixed up. Your education is if you went to a college or a university. Training is any training you may have taken that is relevant to the job. You can have one or both. It's based on you. Section 6 should discuss your education and training as it pertains to the job for which you are applying. Most people get education and training mixed up. Your education is if you went to a college or a university. Training is any training you may have taken that is relevant to the job. You can have one or both. It's based on you. Education. This section should include any and all formal education. Always put your highest degree first and list the others in descending order from highest to lowest. List your GPA only if it's 3.5 and over. If you are on a break from school and the ad specifies for a college degree, you need to leave. Sorry, that's another typo. You want me to just redo that?
Yeah, just start back. Yeah, just give it a 3-second silence and
Okay.
start back.
I'll start from education. Okay. Education. This section should only include any and all formal education. Always put your highest degree first and list the others in descending order from highest to lowest. List your GPA only if it's 3.5 and over. If you are on a break from school and the ad specifies for a college degree, you need to leave that schooling off the resume. You may provide a negative perception about yourself. If you are presently in school, you can state the wording present. This will allow the employer to know you are presently in school. Do not, however, list how many credits or relevant courses taken unless asked on the job posting. Do not list your high school diploma because the diploma is assumed. For the training section, only list special training relevant to the job for which you are applying. When listing, you would state the course, title, and date completed. Certifications and licenses should only be listed if they are applicable to the position. You should include the date obtained and issuing agency. Only include a short list of certifications and licenses. Depending on your career choice, your list can be very different. Just be sure to include the necessary information. Many companies like to read on your resume that you give back to your community on a regular basis and that you are well-rounded. This section also helps because you can list additional skills here. Filling gaps in your resume history and your community project commitments could help you establish a connection with your employer if they too support a similar project. So take a quick glance at the examples. You would need your title, followed by the date, name of the company, location, and explanation for work performed. Now that the sections in your resume have been filled out, you want to go over the sections and proofread. This consists of adding a footer that has your last name and the page number of each page, proofreading for spelling, grammar, punctuation, and ensure the whole resume is in the same font and style. Common and acceptable fonts to use on a resume are Tahoma, Arial, Times New Roman, Verdana, and the use of bold, italics, capitalization, and underlining to draw the reader's eye to where you want it to go. Don't use pretty fonts that are hard to read, and be sure to size your letters appropriately. Don't make your font too small to be easily read or too large. Your resume should be a max of 2 pages. Remember, you don't have to tell me everything, just the best of you. Also, be sure to check that your resume is properly aligned because not all job sectors are the same. Once you finish writing your resume, you must research the best formats for your job sector and convert your new resume from a Word document into that format. Don't give them a reason not to consider your resume before they even read it. A few more basic rules you want to think about when drafting your resume. Be sure it is written in the present and past tense, in the first person, and omit the I's in your resume. Don't use personal pronouns such as I, we, he, she, they, and others. And when you are describing what you did, never say responsible for. Instead, choose a strong action verb for what you did. For example, responsible for training all team members is not as strong as trained all team members or delegated alternate personnel to train all team members. Don't use the letters ing. Well, I trust that this information was informative for instructing you on how to write a dynamic resume to help you land that dream job. Please feel free to frequent this presentation and use it as a tool in creating the right resume for you. Best of luck with your search, and remember, you have something original to offer the world. Now make things happen.